Your house is under surveillance by the authorities. A world-renowned celebrity has tipped them off. Watch quickly, my beloved child, listen carefully. There are some things happening behind the veil that your eyes cannot see, but your soul has been feeling them deeply. There's been a strange heaviness in the air around your home, as if unseen eyes are watching, not to hurt you, but to witness something divine beginning to unfold. You have walked through so many rooms in your house unaware that your prayers have turned the ground into sacred soil. Heaven knows what you've endured behind those closed doors. The walls that have heard your silent weeping, the pillows that have absorbed your late-night cries, the kitchen where your hands shook while making tea for people who betrayed you, yes, even these moments have been recorded in the book of justice. And now, something shocking is taking place. Not for harm, but for revelation. Your house, yes, your very home, has caught the attention of forces beyond you. But not because you are in trouble. No, my beloved. It's because heaven is ready to turn your story into a testimony. There is someone, far more powerful than you imagined, who came across your name, not in gossip, not in slander, but through an angelic whisper. This person, a world-renowned figure, someone whose name is on every screen, every billboard, someone whom the world listens to, this person has seen something in you. Through a divine encounter, they were tipped off spiritually. Their heart began to beat faster when your name was mentioned. They didn't know why, but Archangel Michael did. For Michael had been circling your home, lighting candles around your spirit, preparing your story to be read by kings, prophets, and strangers who needed healing. So now the authorities are watching, but not like you think. They are watching not because of suspicion, but because something unusual has been happening in your atmosphere. A case has been opened, not against you, but for you. A case that defends the way you have carried pain with grace, the way you have endured betrayal without bitterness, the way you have forgiven those who never asked to be forgiven. A file of favor is being studied, and your name is printed on the top in bold golden letters. Heaven is presenting you as a divine example. Not of perfection, but of perseverance. Not of riches, but of royalty. The person who tipped them off did not mean harm. In fact, they meant to protect. They were moved by something they saw, maybe your artwork, your writing, your presence in a room, or even a photo of you praying, unaware that heaven had spotlighted you. This celebrity, unknowingly being used by God, became a vessel of alignment. And now the spiritual world has gone quiet. It's watching. Waiting. Because what's about to happen in your life is too holy to be rushed. Don't panic, my dear. You are not being exposed, you are being revealed. The silence you've been walking through was not neglect, it was preparation. The delay was not rejection, it was divine secrecy. For what God is about to release into your home, into your name, into your future, will be so big, you'll understand why it had to remain hidden for this long. That letter coming through the door. That unexpected phone call. That name you haven't heard in years suddenly showing up. It's all part of a divine surveillance system activated by grace. Stay still. Stay humble. Don't rush to prove anything. Don't try to defend your past or justify your pain. God has already written your defense in the language of angels. Archangel Michael stands near your doorway even now, whispering, "Just hold on. What's coming will wipe the tears they never saw. Your time has come." Your house is not just a location anymore, it is a launching pad for heaven's next miracle. And your name has just been spoken in the room of high places. Heaven never needed cameras to monitor you. God has been watching you with His own eyes, not because of judgment, but because of the deep love He carries for your heart. Every time you stood in front of the mirror and whispered, "God, I don't know how much more I can take," the angels stood still. Every time your chest ached with silent confusion, when your room was full of noise but your soul felt utterly alone, heaven took a record. Archangel Michael marked those hours as sacred. And now, after years of hidden endurance, the atmosphere around your house has changed. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are under divine observation, not to be punished, but to be rewarded. Yes, a stranger whispered your name in a powerful room. Not a gossip room. Not a room of enemies. But in a place where hearts beat for the vulnerable, where influence carries weight, where one word from the right person can shift a destiny. And that person, this influential figure, didn't even know why your name rang in their ears at first. But they couldn't let it go. They reached out, quietly, carefully, spiritually. They sensed something was happening, something big. And when they looked into the sky for answers, the Holy Spirit stirred them with urgency. This person's time has come. The authorities that now surround your life are not there to take. They're there to witness. Your life is about to be a message. What you thought was just struggle was actually rehearsal. The betrayals you faced, training. The heartbreaks, refinement. The isolation, holy preparation. And now, heaven is about to place a spotlight on your name, not to glorify you, but to glorify what God did through you. And this spotlight is so bright, even those who dismissed you will have to pause. Someone, yes, someone with power, someone whose voice reaches millions, spoke up about you without even knowing the full depth of your story. All they knew is that something about your essence moved them. It wasn't your wealth. It wasn't your fame. It was your light. A quiet light that refused to go out, even when everything tried to extinguish it. That's why they were moved. That's why they said something. And that's why the spiritual atmosphere around you is shifting like never before. You are about to walk into a season where people will suddenly be drawn to you. Don't be surprised when old friends call you, when long-lost relatives message you, when new connections come out of nowhere. This isn't coincidence. It's coordination. Archangel Michael is realigning your path. There are conversations being had about your destiny behind doors you haven't even knocked on. There are tables being prepared with your name written in gold, in rooms where your name once wasn't even spoken. Do you remember the nights you felt so invisible you thought even heaven had gone quiet? Those nights weren't silence, they were construction. Divine blueprints were being laid out. Routes were being opened. And the moment you stopped trying to be seen by people, you became visible to the divine. That's when it happened. That's when the light around you grew strong enough for heaven to say, "Now." Begin. Now is the beginning of that season. This surveillance? It's not judgment, it's harvest. Heaven is not accusing you. It is observing the beauty of what grew out of your pain. There is no more pretending. The era of hiding behind smiles is over. You are being called to rise, not as who they said you were, but as who God always knew you were. And guess what? The person who spoke your name into this new season doesn't even need to know the full story, because heaven already gave them enough conviction to act. So let the world watch. Let the unseen eyes look upon your home. Because what's coming next is a display of restoration, of divine justice, of honor for what you suffered in silence. No enemy can stop it. No mistake can erase it. No delay can cancel it. Because this is God's timing, and no force in hell can interrupt a clock that heaven wins. You were not born to be overlooked. You were born to be revealed. And your time is here. There's a rhythm in the spiritual realm that is not random, it's divine. And right now, that rhythm is echoing around your name. Archangel Michael is standing guard not because you're in trouble, but because you're about to be recognized. What you thought was surveillance from authority is actually the orchestration of destiny. You are under observation because you're about to be called up. Your name is in the air, not as a problem, but as a solution. And the world is catching the scent of your breakthrough before you even speak a word. There was a time when you begged heaven to just let someone understand what you were carrying. You didn't want pity. You weren't looking for a handout. You just wanted someone, anyone, to see the depth of what lived in your spirit. Your heart has always been noble, even when it was bleeding. You've forgiven more than most. You've loved when others left. You've remained standing even when your knees were trembling beneath your pain. And God saw all of it. Not one silent scream went unnoticed. Not one tear dried without being counted. Now, let me tell you what the authorities don't see, but heaven does. Inside your house, inside your life, inside your story, there is a blueprint of resilience that others can't comprehend. What they call unusual, God calls chosen. What they see as mystery, God sees as His masterpiece. So when heaven began stirring the heart of that public figure, that high-voiced person, to mention your name, it wasn't an accident, it was the fulfillment of a divine appointment. You don't even know the fullness of who noticed you. But someone with influence looked in your direction and didn't look away. And that changed everything. Their voice was not meant to expose you, it was meant to elevate you. They were guided by something higher, something holy. That's why they couldn't ignore you. That's why your face, your name, your aura kept returning to their thoughts. And when they mentioned you in a confidential space, heaven sealed it. What was once hidden is now about to be heard. Your name will be whispered in places of honor. People will be curious about you, not to judge you, but to know you. Your essence is beginning to awaken those assigned to lift you. This next chapter of your life, child, is not about defending yourself, it's about being discovered. You don't have to push doors anymore. The doors are being opened because of what was already deposited in your spirit. You are not here by accident. You are not forgotten. The surveillance you feel, the sense of being watched, is heaven drawing the eyes of the world to you. It is not for shame, it is for glory. Archangel Michael is positioned at the gate of your life with a sword drawn, not to strike, but to protect. There are angels assigned to your name, and they are working behind scenes so deeply and so strategically that you'll look back on this season and weep with holy awe. You'll remember how hard it was, how lonely it felt. But then you'll realize, it had to be like that. Because now your life is about to speak. God is going to use your testimony as a trumpet. What broke you is about to bless others. What tried to destroy you will now deliver others through you. You are becoming a message. Your silence has been sacred, but your sound is coming. You will not be forgotten in the background anymore. And when they come, when people start reaching out, asking questions, opening doors, remember this: it was not man. It was God all along. He just happened to use people. So prepare your spirit. Don't shrink when the attention comes. Don't doubt your worth when you're finally acknowledged. This is the response to years of silent obedience. You didn't give up, and now heaven is making sure the world takes notice. There is something sacred happening beneath the surface, something no camera can catch, something even the most sophisticated eyes cannot decode. It's not just your home that's under divine attention, it's your soul. And the one who tipped off the world did not do it to harm you, but because heaven whispered your name into their spirit with urgency. They saw something others were blind to. They sensed something holy pulsing inside you. And they couldn't stay silent anymore. This is not surveillance, it's a spiritual spotlight. And the place you once called ordinary is now under extraordinary revelation. Your room where you used to cry silently, it's being flooded with divine light. Your kitchen, where you've made meals with a heavy heart but still gave thanks, heaven has documented it. Your hallway, your bed, your floor, heaven knows the journey of your feet. Nothing you've gone through has gone unseen. And now, heaven is letting the world know, this one is mine. Archangel Michael stands not only at your door, but at every window of your destiny, blocking every false story, every wrong intention, every voice that ever tried to twist your truth. You have been misjudged, misunderstood, underestimated, but not misnamed. Heaven knows exactly who you are. And now, because the divine time has come, a revelation is moving across dimensions. Someone powerful on this earth, who has seen pain, success, and brokenness, has looked at your name and felt heavenly urgency. And they didn't look away. You think you're being investigated by men, but really, you've been studied by angels. Your strength, your resilience, your silent endurance, it captivated the courts of heaven. You've been a testimony in the shadows. Now, God is calling your name into the spotlight. You didn't ask for fame. You didn't chase attention. But heaven is using people of influence to magnify your impact. Because the pain you survived is not ordinary. The lies you broke through were not small. You were born for visible glory. And now, people will begin to ask questions about you. Who is this person? Why does their story sound so familiar, yet so unique? And the answer is simple: you were chosen. Not for applause, but for assignment. You are not here to be entertained, you are here to awaken. What others saw as your burden, God saw as your brilliance. What others called shame, heaven called strategy. And now, the time has come for the curtains to be pulled back. Child, everything in your life is being rerouted for divine exposure. That's why certain people are suddenly interested. That's why someone with power couldn't sleep until they found a way to say your name out loud. Their spirit was stirred by your destiny. And when they looked into your life, when they spiritually sensed what was resting inside your home, they felt chills. Not out of fear, but out of reverence. Because they knew, this person isn't ordinary. This person has something heaven is guarding. You will not be overlooked anymore. You will not be passed by. The surveillance is not meant to trap you, it's meant to witness your rise. Even your enemies are watching now. Even those who doubted you are starting to shift. And soon, they will say, we saw it. We can't explain it. But it was real. Michael wants you to know, the things they took from you, the love that was withheld, the truth that was buried, it's all being restored now. Because heaven has allowed the earth to open its eyes to you. And from this moment forward, nothing will remain hidden. Not your worth. Not your voice. Not your calling. My child, listen to what I am about to whisper into your soul now. Because this is not ordinary. This is not a mistake. This moment was arranged in heaven before you were even born. The walls of your house have absorbed your tears. The floors have carried your weary footsteps. The windows have watched you stare into the unknown, asking silently, when will things change for me? And now, that answer is echoing across the realms. Yes, someone noticed. Yes, someone in the natural world finally saw what heaven already knew: you are not average, you are anointed. When they tipped off the authorities, they didn't realize they were participating in prophecy. When they mentioned your address, they didn't know they were aligning with what was written in the Lamb's Book of Destiny. Because, child, your location is not random, it's prophetic. The place you call home is not just walls and a roof, it's a gate between dimensions. You thought nothing significant could come from where you are, but heaven disagreed. And now the spotlight is no longer on where you've been, but where you're about to go. The surveillance on your house is not meant to accuse, it's meant to affirm. God is allowing this attention because your next season needs to be witnessed. What you carry can't be hidden anymore. What you've survived must be testified about. That's why even strangers are becoming curious. That's why someone who doesn't know your full story still felt led to speak your name into places of power. Because your spiritual signature has reached heaven's courtroom, and now the angels are unlocking every chain that tried to keep you in shadows. Archangel Michael stands not just at your door, but within your atmosphere. Every room, every mirror, every moment of silence is being spiritually charged. You're not living alone, you're living covered. The presence in your home has shifted. The energy has changed. Something holy has entered and refused to leave. And this is why unusual things have started to happen. It's why people you never imagined would notice you are now watching. It's why conversations are being held behind closed doors, and your name is the center of them. This is what happens when God starts exposing favor. It feels like surveillance. It feels like interruption. But really, it's exposure with divine protection. Even the enemy knows something is stirring. Even the enemy can feel that the oil on your head is beginning to overflow. That's why you've felt the pressure. That's why you've been misunderstood. Because what you carry isn't for everyone to comprehend, but it is for heaven to reveal. Do not fear this season of visibility. Do not shrink just because people are starting to ask about you. This is not punishment, it's positioning. Heaven is orchestrating a moment so precise, so personal, so prophetic, that even you will sit in awe. You've waited in silence. You've endured in shadows. But now, Michael says, the windows of heaven are being opened over your address. Your name is being breathed in heavenly places. And now, even earthly realms can't help but echo what's being declared above you. And as they watch, let them wonder. Let them question. Let them try to figure out how you're still standing. Because you, child of God, are about to be the living proof that divine favor is real, and that no surveillance can stop what is sealed by heaven. My beloved, heaven has held your silence long enough. The winds that have passed through your curtains knew the truth before the world did. The light that filters through your window each morning has been anointed to awaken you into a deeper truth. You were never hidden, you were only being prepared. You thought they forgot you. You thought the world passed you by. But in the heavenly archives, your name was carved in gold long before any human knew how to pronounce it. And now, the spotlight that terrifies others has been aimed at your doorstep by the divine. Yes, there is surveillance. But not all watching eyes are meant to harm. Some are sent to witness. Some are meant to testify. And some, yes, some, are drawn to you not because of what you have, but because of what you carry. You carry divine essence in your words. You carry ancient royalty in your breath. You carry the oil of resilience that even your enemies can't deny. And that's what's been sensed. That's what drew the attention. That's why the one who holds fame and influence, yes, the celebrity the world watches, felt compelled to speak your name. They were not speaking in gossip. They were speaking in divine obedience.